All right, welcome back. In this video, we are going to put those little clamps on the side here, which shouldn't be too difficult. What I want to do is make a little room down here. I'm just kind of adding all the details to the end here. This is all kind of the core of the ammo crate, and now I'm just putting on details. So that's what I do. I like to chain these guys together. So what I'm going to do is create a box here. And this box, basically, what I want to do is I want to situate it so that it is sitting perfectly on this particular line. So I want it facing in Z because we're going to probably copy these to points. But I want it facing in Z, and we can always rotate it around too if we don't end up using copy to points. But I want it to be on a single axis, basically. So what I'm going to do is drop down a transform node here, and I'm going to move it such that, so we're going to go back Zmax. So we're going to do $Zmax. So I need to go back by the Zmax, and then I need to go down by the Ymax, so $Ymax. Like so. So now that edge is sitting right perfectly where I want it to be. And I can go and change the scale of this, and it's always right there. So perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just keep a couple of these faces. So we can just do this just by looking at it. So I want to keep faces 2 and 5. So what I'm going to do is drop down a blast node like so. Alrighty. So if I do 2 and 5, then we are just left with those guys by hitting delete non-selected. So now I have those guys, and from there I can just go and do a poly extrude. Really, there's really not much to this here now. We could always go and put some of those bolts on there. So let's do that. Let's go and so what I'll do is I'm just going to kind of hand do this one. So it's not going to be super procedural. I'm not going to use a line, but what I am going to do is drop down an object merge. I'm just going to call this get bolt, and I want to get the bolt. So let's go and find it here. What did I call it? Nail head is what I want. So we want that nail head there. There we go. And what that does is it basically gives us access to the model again. And that is not what I had hoped for. Let's see what we have. Oh, I see. We actually want this divide right here. So I'm just going to call this final nail head. And we'll search for that. So it's final nail head. Cool. So now we have the bolt down here. So we don't have to just connect a huge line that crosses our whole graph. Keeps things nice and organized. Alrighty. So I'm just going to, like I said, transform this. So I'm going to rotate it on the Z-axis 90 degrees. So it's facing upwards. And then I'm going to merge these two guys together so I can see where it should be. Okay, so I'm going to just select the transform node and then hit enter over here and just move it to where I want it to be. And we could also scale it a little bit. It's a little small. We'll move it upwards a little bit. So again, you don't have to make everything procedural, right? In this case, I'm not going to really give the user control over changing this particular thing. So I'm just kind of hand setting it up. It'll make it go faster. Obviously, you can go and make this procedural yourself. It just depends on how much time you have, All right, so I'll just mirror it like so. And then basically, I'm going to make another copy by putting a transform down. And let's actually just rotate it 90 degrees on the X. And that should place it. And then I want to do another transform. Actually, we'll just merge those two guys together. Like so. And I'll pipe that into the final merge here. And really what I want to do now is just move these guys down here. Perfect. And I'm happy with that. Cool. Now we don't really need the back for that either. So we don't really need the back for the final nail head either. It's just wasted geometry there because it's being hidden, because it's just sitting straight on the wood plank here. So when we go and make that final nail, so this final nail head right here, what we can do to get rid of that really easily is just drop down a clip node and have this face in the X direction. And there you go. I got rid of it. Cool. So now let's take a look again at what we got here for our clamp. All right, so with that done, let's actually go and place it on the crate itself. Now, you can go and do this procedurally as well. And I think just for time's sake, because I do want to get into setting up the UVs now and the color IDs, I'm just going to use a transform here. Okay, and we'll do a merge here. And the transform is to get it placed. Now, we'll do that like semi-procedurally. So let's take a look and see what we got here. So if we were to look inside, we should have our clamp down here, and it's definitely huge still. So we'll have one transform for the scale, one for the placement. So we'll just concentrate on that placement for now. So I do actually want to rotate it, so let's do that. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and then I'm going to put it over here. So to do that, I need to translate it to the current X size. All right. So I need that X size of the X max there of the final ammo crate. So we'll just call this, oh, it's not really the final ammo crate, but we'll call it final ammo crate. There we go. So we'll say final ammo crate, and we'll say BB box, final ammo crate, and I want that D X max. There we go. So now we're sitting perfectly on the side. So now I just need to move it up so that it's sitting perfectly on the Y. So again, that'll just be that final ammo crate, but then we need the Y max. And that should have actually put it in the right spot. It might be times 0.5. Oh, and sorry, the reason why that's happening is because it's got the ropes. So again, you got to make sure where you're pulling the data in from. Right, so the Y max is currently up here at the ropes, and I want the Y max from before we put well, what we can do, let's go back up the chain a little bit here and go and find the proper one. So I want that plus the height of the top plank, basically, the Y size. So that's what we need. So I need, so this is the final sides, final crate sides, and then we can get that top plank height. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so say final crate sides plus the top plank, so the BB box of the top plank, and we want the DY size of that. So I want to know how tall that is. And let's take a look. There we go. So now we're at the almost exact right spot. Might have to add a little bit of an offset there, but it got it pretty close. So then what I can do is just again offset that. And again, this one thing is a little big too, so I want to take care of that. So even before we do all that translation, I'm just going to drop the uniform scale down a little bit, and you can see that it's retaining its position there, which is good. Okay, and then I want to do another transform, because what we'll do is actually pipe this guy in so we can see it. So what I want to do here is actually move this along the Z and put it roughly in the middle there. And then I can just do a mirror. There we go. And then we could do another mirror and do that on the Z. And then pipe that guy in there like so. And now we've got the clamps on these particular guys over here. Now, the thing that's happening is that we put that noise in there, right? So the surface is undulating ever so slightly. So we might have to just pull this guy up just a little bit more. There we go. Just a little bit more. Cool. There we go. That is how we do that. So I think this is actually going to be pretty good. So now I'm going to move this into laying out the UVs. I'll go and add some more little tiny details here and there, but I won't be doing anything that you guys haven't seen already. Okay, so let's move on and get this thing ready for the texture process. Thanks so much.